Hello again. Welcome to our vlog, A Quiet Life. Today's vlog is going to be about a health issue that suddenly came up on me in December. I'd never had an issue like that before, and it was quite frankly scary. I had no idea what was going on or what it was. So this is a vlog about a female issue. So if you're a man and you don't want to hear some of the things that females go through, please, you might want to just shut this one off because I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about some things. I am 50 years old and my periods have been very, very normal. My 40s have been good. I think a lot of running maybe has helped, and trying to get my body, I take different herbs and vitamins to try and keep my body balanced out hormonally, because I know menopause is coming. I've probably been in perimenopause for, well, quite a few years, probably 7 or 8. I've been taking ginkgo and ginseng 7 or 8 years for just to keep myself balanced out with energy and other things. But in my periods, usually the first day is very light, the second day is heavy, and days 3 and 4 are getting lighter. And that's how it's been for a long time. And then this last December, it was the same way. First day was light, second day was heavy, but I ended up having a very heavy third day, which is very unusual. And I thought, what is this? And then I started having these massive blood clots come out. And I've never ever had that before. And then day 4, it was even worse. And I think it was day 4 or 5 that I called my gynecologist because I was going out of town. It was right after Christmas, and I was going out of town. And I thought, I can't really travel like this. So I went in to see my gynecologist. My regular gynecologist was out, so I did see another doctor in the office. And she did an exam on me and said that I have uterine fibroids. And I have no idea anything about uterine fibroids, nothing. So I thought, well, what is that? So I had to start doing some research. And honestly, I'm so thankful that many women have vlogged about uterine fibroids on YouTube, and they have talked about the options with uterine fibroids. So that doctor put me on progesterone for 6 days, I think it was, just to get the bleeding under control, which it did. It didn't stop the bleeding, but it did get it under control. Ibuprofen helped, and that was about the only thing that I took that really did help. I had never ever experienced such bleeding and such massive clots ever. It was unnerving, to say the least, and pain. Oh my goodness, the massive amount of pain that I was having was crazy. So, semi going down. So, the progesterone slackened it a little bit, and then the next week I had to go in and have a vaginal ultrasound, which they found 2 fibroids, and they had a cyst on each one of my ovaries. Well, when I met back with my regular gynecologist that day, she said, we have some options available to us. I could either have a hysterectomy, or I could have an endometrial ablation, or I could get an IUD, is that right? Something like that. I did not want that. I did not want that because, you know, I had my tubes tied when I was, 24 years old. I did not want to have anything like that. I don't take anything hormonally. I don't take anything at all like that. So I did not want to do that. Now I do have friends that have taken that, and they said that's been great, especially for bleeding. So that's just my personal option, but I've had friends that said this worked for me, the IUD. So she told me, my gynecologist said if you were younger, I would suggest a hysterectomy. And, you know, I thought that was interesting, but it did turn out uterine fibroids can be hereditary. And since my mom died at a young age, my sisters have not had any, and I called my paternal aunt. I messaged her and I said, okay, do you know anything about this? And it turns out that when she was 38, She's 85 now. When she was 38, she had to have a hysterectomy because of a tumor, which was a fibroid. So maybe I get it from my dad's side of the family. I don't know. But she's the one that I do know about. So I had opted to go ahead with the endometrial ablation. The only problem was it's COVID and the hospitals do not do elective surgeries. Great. So my doctor said, let me try a surgery center. I've never operated there, but I'll see if they'll let me use their facilities. And they did. So on February 10th, let me tell you what happened. That day I did have the vaginal ultrasound done and talked to my regular gynecologist. She put me on a birth control pill, and I had to take 21 pills in 11 days. So I took 3 pills for 3 days, 2 pills for 3 days, and then finished out the pack 1 pill a day. That was horrible, horrible. I told my husband, I said, I feel like I'm either in my 20s or 30s and having these crazy emotional problems again, where I had to actually go on medication and antidepressant in my 20s and 30s. When I was 37, I went off all medication like that. The Lord did a great healing in my life of healing me of that crazy stuff that was going on. And there was no way I was never going to go back on that again or take a birth control to try to keep the bleeding under control. That was that. 11 days of that was enough. I was crazy. I hated it. It's such an out of control feeling, and it was just no peace. And I've lived in peace for a long time now, so didn't want to go back there. So I was glad when those pills were over. And then you have to do a biopsy. You have to go in, and she has to or your doctor has to do a biopsy, which everything came out well. So we scheduled the ablation a week later, and it was at a surgery center. And so I had to be there early that morning. I was one of the first ones because that was the only one my doctor was doing. It was a really, really, really good experience. From the anesthesia, to waking up, it was a really good experience. My husband did get to go in the room with me until I was wheeled back, and the anesthesia went well. When I woke up, I was pretty just alert right after waking up, and I drank a ginger ale and got dressed and came home. When I did get home, I had minimal bleeding, and I took 3 ibuprofen. She gave me a prescription for painkillers and 800 milligram ibuprofen. I did not feel the painkillers. I just didn't do that. We actually have some from my husband's surgery earlier in January, where he sliced a couple tendons and a nerve in his finger. So I did not get that. And then I did have the 800 milligram filled. So when I got home, I took 3 200 milligram ibuprofen because we hadn't got the 800 filled yet. And then later on, when Nick got the 800 filled, I took one of those. And that's all the medication I took. I did not have any pain whatsoever after that, ever. No more pain. That was it. The little pressure and pain that I had when I got home from the surgery center that day, after that, I did not have any more pain. The only thing I dealt with was very, very, very minimal bleeding because I had the procedure done on a Wednesday. On Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I had minimal bleeding. But after that Friday, I did not bleed anymore. The biggest problem was the bloating, I guess, from the anesthesia, which was a terrible feeling. And I had that from Wednesday to the following Monday because I went back to work that following Monday. I cleaned houses, or a house now. So that was the biggest issue I had, was bloating from the anesthesia, I guess. I didn't have any more bleeding, any more pain, anything like that. Now, I was like that for about 9 days. I didn't have any issues at all after the procedure. And then I started spotting. 9 days later, I spotted like 5 red drops of blood one Sunday. And then I spent that next week just like spotting 2 or 3 drops of brown blood for a week. And that was it. That was it. And then I've had maybe 1 or 2 days of just a drop or 2 of blood. And it has been 5 weeks tomorrow since I had the ablation. And that's it. I've not had any other problems. Now, with a endometrial ablation, it does not get rid of the fibroids. It just goes in and basically burns off the endometrial lining. And therefore, you can't shed that lining every month and have blood for a period. The thing that it helps with the fibroids is there's no blood there to basically feed the fibroids, because there's estrogen in the blood and fibroids need estrogen to grow. And there's no blood there, so there's no estrogen for the fibroids to grow. And my doctor said this is to hope to bridge me into menopause, that this will help me until I get into menopause, because in menopause, fibroids do not normally grow in women because there's no estrogen hardly for them to grow. So there's some things that I've been doing is trying to avoid foods that can be estrogen dominant, breads, sugars, things like that. I'm not doing too great with it. I cannot seem to lose this 5 pounds that I gained from December. And I just, for whatever reason, can't seem to lose it. It's driving me batty, but I can't lose it. Just how it is. I do occasionally feel the fibroid. My lower back it's like when I bend over, it's sore, and I know that's the fibroid. But as I look back on the last year, I realize what the fibroids had done, because last February I started feeling really bad and my iron started going low again. So I started taking over-the-counter iron. And then I did go see my family doctor, and he put me on an iron pill. That helped. But there was other symptoms that I was having that now I realize were the fibroid. And one of them is pain down. It's like pain in your hiney, the mid part of your hiney, down both legs, down the middle of both behind your legs. And that was the fibroid causing pain down my legs, which is kind of crazy. When I was in the midst of all the pain in December, at some points it felt like a baby's head was crowning. I don't know any other way to explain it, but it was that much pain. It felt like a baby's head was crowning. It was a lot of pain in December. But as I look back, I had several different types of pain that was the fibroid coming on. And that was the pain down my legs, the pain in my back. That is all the fibroid. But, I'm a runner, and, I haven't been really running well for quite a while. And, my legs have been very fatigued, and but now I really do think that was the fibroid coming on. But now I have started running again. It's kind of hard to push myself to really do any type of distance. The longest I have run is a 5K, 3.1. I do some walking and things like that, but the longest I've run is 3.1. I don't know if I'm ever going to get back into distance running again. I just don't. There's other things that time seems to take up other things, and it's hard to get back into it. I'd love to do another half marathon, so who knows? Maybe I'll just step it up and get that energy in and do all of that. So, but everything is doing really well with the fibroid and the ablation, and I'm very happy with the result of this so far, and I'm 5 weeks out. I am keeping tabs of when I would have started my period and things like that on mymonthly.com. That way I'll know, okay, I should have been starting my period about now, and my back hurting or a headache or different things like that. I am having a bit of trouble adjusting to lack of estrogen, because that can cause hot flashes. My face is probably red right now. That can cause hot flashes, which I'm taking 80 milligrams of black cohosh at night so I don't sweat and to get as hot in the middle of the night. So I'm trying to control all of that with herbs and vitamins and things like that. So I did get a thing off Etsy. It's called Fibroid Be Gone. So I'm going to take that for 2 months, because it's 2 months worth. It's a pill. It's got raspberry and all kinds of different vitamins in it that's supposed to help the fibroids go away. So that's what I'm doing. I just, you know, it's all went well. The fibroids came on suddenly with the pain and the bleeding in December. I had the endometrial ablation on February 10th. 5 weeks later, I'm doing real well and have had just minimal spotting since then. And some, you know, just little back pain and things like that. But so far, the procedure has been successful. And I hope it does bridge me into menopause. So, you know, if you have any questions, please leave some comments and I will get back to those comments. But, oh, I had the Novasure ablation, by the way, the Novasure. And my doctor did a great job and I'm very happy with that. So, everybody has to make their own choice, but that was the choice that I made. And I hope it helps you out because a lot of the videos that I watched really, really, really helped me out.